Amazon, of dark forests with hostile Indians with blowpipes and nameless insects which burrowed into flesh. And to give herself courage, she said, "What are the names of the twins?"
"Beatrice and Gwendolen," said Emily. "They have written you a note."
And she handed Maya a single sheet of paper. "Dear Maya," the girls had written, "we hope you will come and live with us. We think it would be nice." Maya saw them as she read, fair and curly-haired and pretty, everything she longed to be and wasn't. If they could live in the jungle, so could she. "When do I go?" she asked. "At the end of next month. The Carters have engaged a new governess, and she will travel out with you." A governess? In the jungle? How strange it all sounded. But the letter from the girls had given her heart. "Well, let's hope it's for the best," said Miss Banks after Maya left the room. It was a long way to send a child to an unknown family, and there was Maya's music to consider. She played the piano well, and her voice was sweet and true, but what was that to set against the chance of a loving home? "The consul has promised to keep me informed," said Mr. Murray, and the meeting broke up. Meanwhile, Maya's return to the classroom meant the end of the tributaries of the Thames.
"Tomorrow we will have our lesson on the Amazon and the rivers of South America," said Miss Carlyle. "I want you all to find out at least one interesting fact about it."
That night Maya sat alone on top of the mahogany library steps, and she read. "Those who think of the Amazon as a green hell," she read in an old book with a tattered spine, "bring only their own fears and prejudices to this amazing land. For whether a place is a hell or a heaven rests in yourself, and those who go with courage and an open mind may find themselves in paradise." Maya looked up from the book. "I can do it," she vowed. "I can make it a heaven, and I will." Everyone came well prepared to the geography lesson on the following day.
"Hermione, what did you find out about the Amazon?" said Miss Carlyle.
Hermione looked anxiously at Maya.
"There are huge crocodiles in the rivers that can snap your head off in one bite, only they're not called crocodiles, they're called alligators because their snouts are fatter. And if you just put one hand in the water, there are these piranhas that strip all the flesh off your bones," said Melanie.
Miss Carlyle now looked worriedly at Maya.
"And you, Maya, what did you find out?"
Maya held her head high. "The Amazon is the largest river in the world. It used to be called the River Sea because of that, and all over Brazil there are rivers that run into it. When I go, I shall travel on a boat, and it will take 4 weeks to go across the Atlantic. And then, when I get to Brazil, I still have to travel 1,000 miles along the river until I reach the city of Manaus, which is a beautiful place with a theatre with a green and golden roof, because the people who grew rubber out there became very rich, and so they could build such a place even in the middle of the jungle. And that is where I shall be met by Mr. and Mrs. Carter, and by Beatrice and Gwendolen." She broke off and grinned at her classmates. But she needed all her courage as she stood in the hall a month later saying goodbye. The headmistress put her arms round Maya, who vanished for the last time into the folds of her tremendous bosom. "Farewell, my child," she said, "and God bless you." And then the porter came and said the carriage was at the door. The girls followed Maya out into the street, but at the sight of the black-clad woman sitting stiffly in the back of the cab, her hands on her umbrella, Maya faltered. This was Miss Minton, the governess. The tall, gaunt woman looked more like a rake or a nutcracker than a human being. Her eyes, behind thick, dark-rimmed spectacles, were the colour of mud. Her mouth was narrow, her nose thin and sharp. The door of the cab opened. Maya got in, and they set off. For the first part of the journey, Maya kept her eyes on the side of the road. Now that she was really leaving her friends, it was hard to hold back her tears. She had reached the gulping stage when she heard a loud snapping noise and turned her head.